Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Glory to the great God of the heavens and the earth. Be grateful for this day that he has given you. In this day, we do all things to the glory of our God, for nothing is possible for he that strengthens us. Hallelujah. Can I say it again? There is nothing impossible to us because we believe in God. So we can do all things. We can do all things through our God. Now, peace and blessings, peace and blessings. It's your brother, Jehoshaphat Israel, here in the house that God has made. I can't sit before you and promise you a small video. I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that for all my haters out there. They got low attention span or something. You know what I'm saying? They got, and I just don't want to say it's on the young people, but people in general. You know what I'm saying? Why? Okay, now, I don't know if y'all know this, but the internet was made to gather information. That's one aspect. The internet was made to transfer information over a long distance in an area. That's number two. The internet was made for human connection, for humans to connect with one another. That's number three. So if you one of them people and you don't understand the meaning of what the internet is for, to gain knowledge, to actually conversate with other people that live in far distance from yourself, then maybe I'm not for you. Maybe you don't want to listen to the things that I have to say on this sit down. But in this sit down, we're gonna go over the past. We're going to go over the present, all randomly, however I select these videos. But I want to look in at the past, the present, and I want to look in and I want to think, because whatever our past is to our present is going to dictate where our future is. Now, if we as black people, so-called black people who live in America, if we don't dig in our past, we won't know the foundation that we sit on right now in the future. There's nothing that they could possibly do to us that they have not already did. They have done a lot of different things. What do you mean, Jehoshaphat? We can bring in over the Sabbath weekend. I had the contemplation of thought. I was in deep thought. Why is it that black people in America, we out succeed a number? What do you mean, Jehoshaphat? What are all the plots and the plans and the traps and the snares that's been put up for your people so they can have a low number? Remember, we have curses and blessings that is on us as a people. What do you mean, Jehoshaphat? We have curses and blessings on us. One of the blessings on us, God wants us to go out in the world and fill the world up with people. What do you mean, Jehoshaphat? We're supposed to have descendants that's more than the sands of the sea far as our people. So I start thinking about Margaret Mason, the one lady in eugenics who started Planned Parenthood. I started thinking about all the guns and the drugs that was forced on your people. I started thinking about the prison system, how they just lock black people up to reach their quotas. I was thinking about all these things over there. I was I was very contemplated on these things, like why we don't succeed 40 million people in this country. And I just start thinking about all the different courtrooms that lock your people up over nothing. Do we have criminals? Yes, we have criminals. Everybody got criminals. Name a race of people who don't have criminals. Name a race of people who's just so perfect. There's nobody under the sun is. So I started thinking about all of these things. But like in this video, we're going to dig into the past. We're going to look at the present, because if we don't do these things, family, I don't know where our future go. You know what they say? They say, if you don't know your past, you are doomed to repeat it all over again, as if it was a cycle. Just like your brother tell you life is a full cycle. It's like a clock. You know what I'm saying? Like this clock that we own. If we don't watch it, family, they'll just do it all over again to us all over again. But I also had the thought over the Sabbath weekend. The person, they said, why is it why black people want a Black History Month? Okay, that was one thing that they said. Then they said, why is it that black people, why it's got to be the first black person? Okay, let's cover that. Let's cover that real quick. Okay, now we're a new people. We had our past stolen from us. We don't know our language. We don't know anything about our descendants. We don't know anything really about them. We only know the last 500 years or so of history. So our language, our culture, our customs, our tradition, our heritage, our language, you know what I'm saying? All of our math, all of our science, all of those things was taken from us. So we got a new start. You know what I'm saying? We are brand new people that started off in the 1500s. So when you see the sister and she the first sister to work for NASA, they're right. These are our timeline started all over again. You know what I'm saying? Because our past was stolen from us, and we'll be damned if they let us steal. We'll be damned if we let anybody steal our future like that, since they already stole our past, and then we have to start all over again. You know what I'm saying? We have to start all over again. So when you see a black man and he's the first engineer, yes, he's the first black engineer in all of our history. That is worth being celebrated. They said. Why doesn't anybody else history need to be celebrated? Everybody history should be celebrated. What are you talking about? Everybody, and then they should teach people's history in school properly, without no biases, no trickeries, and no lies, no deception at all. So they was kind of going off. We shouldn't have a Black History Month. We shouldn't have a but why black people is the only ones who got a Black History Month? Because we have to start our history all over again. And y'all the reason why, you know what I'm saying? Y'all the reason why we have to start our history all over again. So the first black person to write a book, the first black person to make a movie. Yes, we are the first black people to do any of these things because our history was stolen, corrupted, and stolen from us. So it pissed me off just to hear people say something like that. Why black people need a Black History Month? Because this is the beginning of our history. We only got 500 years of history over here. What are you talking about? That y'all can actually put on a piece of paper to where y'all can identify with and not try to steal it from us. Okay, that was one. Why it's got to be the first black person, the first black person to be a train driver? Because he's the first black person to ever get a train job, to be a train conductor. This is true. You know what I'm saying? So I was just looking back at history. So if you are willing to hang in there, and go through all of these shows, because we're just going to look at the past randomly. We're going to look at the present selectively, and we're going to see where we're going to end up. So let's go back.
Every aspect of the black community is being attacked. And it's being attacked by gaslighting and dog whistles, but it is direct. It is white supremacists who do not have our best interest at heart and will do everything to destroy our community. I actually hate to call it white supremacy because that's what they think of themselves. It's racist, white racism. It's this racism against black folks. We have a great responsibility to the people who have gone before, who have made the ultimate sacrifice, who have given their lives to make sure that our lives would be better. Their deaths would be in vain if I didn't speak out.
That's why I don't like other black folk when they come up and they be sitting there talking all that. They be talking all that stuff. They be like, well, you should have never integrated, and we were separate, but we were equal. And you know, Malcolm X, he really didn't do nothing. And you know, Martin Luther King, you know, Harriet Tubman, she really didn't. I don't like black people like that. You know what I'm saying? Because they black ass sit up here and talk all that smack. But if we was back in the past, they wouldn't have had done diddly squat. We actually making history right now. It's 2025 right now, and we're making history for our descendants right now. You know what I'm saying? And they the ones sitting up here holding everybody back in real time. You know what I'm saying? The descendants of our people gonna look back at us 100 years from now, and they gonna sit back and wonder, how were we living? And then you got the black people in there that's fighting against us. You know what I'm saying? You got the black people fighting against our history, knowing damn well that they wouldn't do nothing. They wouldn't stand at no damn countertop. They wouldn't have had tried to integrate up in that school. They wouldn't have had went out there with them dogs and with all them damn fire hoses and with all them police and all the police batons. They wouldn't have had did none of that. They wouldn't have had stood up for nothing that was justice. But they the first ones that sit up here and trash our history. They be just like the whites. Hey, it's the white man. They be just like the white people. We don't need DUI. We don't need black history. We don't need to hear about these things. Yes, we do. And then what really pissed me off, they said, well, when do white people have a white history month? You have your white history month 365 days around the year. Every day is white history month. To answer that question for white people, if they didn't know, you don't need a month. It's a damn shame to where we got to look at our people in a month time, to look at every single thing that was done to us, to look towards our future so we could betterly plan and then have some pride and have some honor and have some respect for our people that came before us. And y'all would say something about that. And y'all have a white history in this country every single day. Every single day is White History Month besides from February. That's the only time we take a break. Asian New Year kind of took a break on white history. Hispanic Heritage in September, we kind of took a break on white history. But other than that, it's white history every single day. You know what I'm saying? Every single day.
Middle East, no?
Middle East, yeah. And that's is that a tropical climate?
No, not at all. That's
No.
sun.
So it's not an Icelandic climate. So it's the heat, it's the desert. So you're by the equator. The funny part about science, dog, is you can duck reality off belief, dog, but you can't duck reality off fact. The equator only breeds dark people, and the further you get from the equator, the lighter people tend to get. Right?
Yes.
All right. So check this out. How is it that you have cats called Israeli in the Middle East right now that are light skinned? It doesn't make sense, bro. Especially when the fact that you go back and look at the story of Moses. So Moses, he's the lineage of Jesus. All right, he's like the great-great-grandfather. But Moses grew up in Egypt.
I found out traces of our history. You know what I'm saying? Traces of half of our people, for some reason, we will always be led back to Egypt. Why will we always, when you start checking all the documentary and all the paperwork and all the historical facts and stuff, we always end up in Egypt for some reason. You know what I'm saying? Half of your DNA, half of your your history, half of your people. We always end up right back in Egypt all over again for some odd reason. You know what I'm saying? For some reason with our people. Now, why is the reason why our people, it all leans back to Egyptians and Egypt is because your people was enslaved there for 400 years, just like they've been enslaved, just like the Bible says, you know what I'm saying? You know what? Y'all some bad, y'all my Hebrews, y'all my black people, y'all bad, y'all disrespectful. Okay, y'all was in Egypt for 400 years. You know what? I'm going to send you to another captivity for another 400 years. But this time it's going to be in a place to where your fathers, they never knew nothing like that. Over there, they serve gods of stone and gods of wood and gods of clay that your fathers never knew. And those gods can't see, hear, or speak. So when I look at the Americas, you know what I'm saying? When I look at the Americas, I just line it up with biblical prophecy. I just line it up. Okay, God, he said that we was in Egypt. Now he said he gonna send us to a new Egypt, and that new Egypt is America. Why is this so hard for people to understand? But that's okay. That's okay, because you cannot suppress the truth. It don't matter. It don't matter. If it's good, you can't suppress it. Eventually, it's going to overtake it, and it's going to come out, and it's going to rise all the way up to the top, and then it's going to yield 100-fold. So it'll be 1,000 times more stronger than what the truth was in the beginning. Can't hide it. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, it's going to come out.
He grew up under the Pharaoh. He was the Pharaoh's son.
That's right.
Let my people go.
That's right.
But his people were the Jews, the slaves. So was Moses white? But how could he pass as the son of the Pharaoh of an African country, where we know scientifically the equator only breeds dark people?
Yeah, for sure.
Right? And you're right there, dog. And Israel's in the Middle East. Is there any other Middle Eastern country you know that the people at mass that were naturally born there are light-skinned?
I don't think that the Saudis. No, right?
Nope.
No. They're all. Yeah, it's like,
And check this out. I can have somebody that migrates, but I'm talking about the people from the dirt. From the
yeah,
soil,
they're originals.
right? Okay. So when you're born in Iceland, there's no sun, so you lack vitamin D. You need to take supplements, right? So you become light skinned because vitamin D gives pigmentation, right? So the closer you are to the sun, the equator, which is the highest point of the earth, the closer to the sun, all that sun comes down, that vitamin D comes down, those UVs, and they give you pigmentation. So you will always be darker. That's why even Indian people are dark.
I mean, the majority, if not all, the people who came in from after World War II and all that, they all immigrated from like Poland, Germany. And the crazy part is they all changed their last names, bro.
So the question is, how did these people from other nations come in through the Balfour Declaration of the war as Israeli? And another question is, what's the difference between Israeli and Israelite? Because your Bible and your Torah doesn't say Israeli, it says Israelite. And it doesn't say Jewish, it says Jew. Right? And the funny part about the English language is the English language is a branch off of the England English. So what we have in America, we have in English, but we have legalese, right? Our terms are very, very, very detailed, very, very, very focused, right? In England, English is different. In America, it's different. So ish is actually a suffix, ish. So Jew-ish. Ish means to be like, to mimic. So check it out. When you're not really hungry, you're not starving. You're just hungry. You're kind of tired. You're sleepy-ish.
Yeah, right.
You know, ish. It means to be like. Not exactly, right? But to be like. Ites, back in the day, Israelites, I-T-E.
Now, am I saying that all of our genetics is composed of Israelites? Half of it is. You know what I'm saying? Half of it. How you prove that you Israelite? You got Native, you got Native American, and I'm not talking about the red natives. I'm talking about the black Native people. Why is it so damn hard to believe it was black people over in America? You got the black Native, and then you got the African part, but it's not African. What do you mean, Jehoshaphat? It's Hebrewic. You know what I'm saying? It's Hebrew. It's Hebrews. You know what I'm saying? You got Hebrew, or you want to call it Igbo. You got Hebrew blood inside of you. You got half of Hebrew, then you got half of the native, but then you got 10% of Caucasian. That was because of chattel slavery and all the rape with the white slave master and the white woman slave master, you know what I'm saying? All that rape. So that still is part of our genetics, is part of our DNA. And it shows. It shows so much about our DNA. Our DNA is different than any other black group in the world. What do you mean, Jehoshaphat? If I take out my blood and I check my genetics, it's differently from African people. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same like that. That's why we look so damn differently.
Established a heritage, an ancient heritage. So Hamite, Shemite, Israelite, Canaanite, right? But now we have Mexican, right? Or we don't have. Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. The Hebrew Israelites, black and brown men that have left the Christian church in order to find their identity. An identity that points to them as the biblical ethnic Jews of the Bible. Yes, you heard me right. The same people that descend from the biblical patriarchs of the scriptures. You even have people all across the world that are proclaiming the same thing now. Just listen in.
Shalom, shalom from Israel. This is Ola, the daughter of Jethro. And I just heard that you black people that was stolen from Africa to America, that you don't know who you are, but you are the children of Yahweh, the children of Israel. And I'm telling you, you have to come back to your homeland, here to Zion, to Jerusalem, because us the Gentiles, we do need you. We need you to come and pray, because you are our Savior. You're the one that was chosen by Yahweh to live in this land, not the Jewish people, it's you. You were stolen from Africa, they deceived you, they told you that you are slaves, but you actually the children of Israel. And it's time just to come back. Come for your people, come back for us, come back for the whole Gentiles, because only you gonna save us. So please come back to that.
Hebrews and Jews were black people. And Jesus was not a white man.
So as we can see, even people in other countries know this. But why is it that black people in America don't know this? Now this
I'm not asking you to cause an argument. I just because I want to know. I want to be educated.
John, do you know the difference between indentured servitude and American chattel slavery?
No, I don't. I like to learn. I'm not trying to argue.
Okay, sure, fair enough. Just asking if you knew the difference. So, indentured servitude was basically.
Shoot, do you know? Okay, the only qualm that I have with him. Okay, he's gonna explain what serfdom is. He's gonna explain what indentured servitude is. But I beg to differ because my people were property. Okay, they said you 3/4 of a human being, but when you look at it, my people were property. They were an inheritance. And I say this on the internet, and all the white power is, oh, Mr. White Man, I get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Every time with the white people, you know what I'm saying? Oh, it's the white man, I get in trouble, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So let me explain it again, because I guess I'm forever gonna be in trouble. Our people were property. Why you say that they were property? Because when the white man or the white woman died, her children inherited my grandparents. If that white person died, my grandparents would go to some white person in that family. Inheritance passed down generational throughout all of these centuries. My people have been proper. Shouts out to my brother. My people have been property, you know what I'm saying, owned by white families, passed down as an inheritance for centuries. You know what I'm saying? For centuries. So when he say we were slaves, if you say slave, then you got a chance to be set free. You know what I'm saying? If you really look at it, you know what I'm saying? If you look at any history of slavery, you could be set free. You know what I'm saying? You could pay for your freedom. You know what I'm saying? But property, if you're property, you'll always be property. Okay, now slavery is not indentured servitude, but slavery is not property either. You know what I'm saying? It is not. It's three different categories. It's three different things. That's what I'm saying to y'all.
It was a bad labor contract. It was a horrible labor contract. And oftentimes they were 4 to 7 years, and there were white people who were considered indentured servants. But it was a contract that ended. When it came to American chattel slavery, that was basically a European invention. And it was slavery based on race, slavery based on color, and also with.
Now listen to what he said. He said European invention, meaning through the courses of history of all humanity, nothing like this has ever been done before. So when white people sit up there and say everybody was a slave, yeah, y'all used to do each other like that all the time. Y'all did. And don't get me up here breaking down what slavery really means. I'm going to get in trouble because I'm going to explain it to you in a way for you to understand. They be sitting over there talking about slavery wrong. Let's put it like this. To our God, our slavery, all it was a credit card. They didn't have credit cards back then. Slavery was a form of credit card because when they finished paying their debt, they ass was not a slave. This is how everybody, unless you was a prisoner of war, and that's how we came over here as. Our people came over here as prisoners of war turned into property. Back in history, there wasn't nothing like that ever done. When one kingdom fought another kingdom, they would utterly annihilate that kingdom, only leaving maybe the children and maybe the women. Sometimes not even the boy children. They would leave all the women, the ones that look good, that they can mate with. Other than that, they slaughtered all of them people like that. So it wasn't no slavery like that. You know what I'm saying? When you sold a slave, let's go back to the Egyptian slavery. Them people were sold in slavery for a period of time, and then they could buy themselves out of slavery. What do you mean, Jehoshaphat, in that time, if you wasn't in Egypt like that and you wasn't a prisoner of war? Our people inside of Egypt was still prisoners of war by the Egyptians. We were prisoners of war. We just couldn't leave like that. The same thing. Now, if you don't know your past, how will you know your present? The same thing that was done to us in Egypt was done to us right here in America. Why is that so hard to believe? Why is that so hard to understand? It actually came a point in time in history to where they said here in America, they said, well, you know, slavery is abolished in 1840. We can't 1800s. We can't import no African slaves no more. So what they do, they started breeding us. Breeding us, you know what I'm saying? Breeding us like cattle, you know what I'm saying? That's why we were labeled as property, you know what I'm saying? That's how we were looked at. Do you know they sit up there and how they did the cow, how they sit up there and they would mark their name on them? They did our ancestors the same way, like we were cattle, we were property.
Chattel slavery, unlike indentured servitude, you were enslaved for life. And so were all of your descendants enslaved. Slavery was hereditary.
The only time that has ever been done has been in Egypt. You see how our history, it just goes back to where we came from. You know what I'm saying? You can't outrun your history. You can't run from it. You know what I'm saying? You could try to run from it all you want, but look how when all these people talk, you know what I'm saying? Am I saying all of our genetics? No, I'm not saying all of our genetics, but a large portion, a large sum of what makes up the composition of who we are. Always the road ends up at Egypt for some reason.
So you were considered property. There were some parts of ancient Africa where you would have folks who were enslaved. They would later go on to be tribal leaders. You could still marry. You could still own property. But with American chattel slavery, you weren't able to do that. So basically, with American chattel slavery, slavery was a life sentence written into your skin and then passed on to your kids. That's not how indentured servitude worked. And by the end of the Civil War, I think it was 90% or so, 90% of the black folks who were enslaved in this country, they were born here. They weren't even part of the transatlantic slave trade. Does that help, John?
The other question I had was, wasn't it slavery in the Bible days where like Joseph was a slave as a Jew, or
I hate it when white people play dumb. You know what I'm saying? I really do. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's the white man. You know what I'm saying? And I hate when they play dumb like that. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all really don't know all of this. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all really don't know. We're so educated as a people that you could take our children and you could put them in a debate against any white person, and our children would school them on just the knowledge that we have about America and Africa. Can you believe that? You could take one of our children and put them in a debate with a grown white person, and our children know more about our history than they know about our history, and they live amongst us. We share this country together.
That have come to America. Involuntarily. We didn't come here with our language intact. We didn't come here with our beliefs, our religious or spiritual beliefs intact. Those all things were stripped from us. Our names, and we, in all of our culture, everything, our resources. We didn't come here with the things that other people. So when we hear folk talk about, hey, slavery is over. Why y'all still complaining about that? Or, our people came here and they worked their asses off. And that's true. Immigrants came from from Europe and Asia, all over the world. And yes, they did, lace up their bootstraps, and they did what they had to do. But they came with all things intact. They came voluntarily. They didn't come on. So, and those who did came with resources that were set up by people who were in servitude. Absolutely. That's just facts. So we already have the disadvantage, and we don't have that legacy, as we talk about legacy, as other people, because our legacy was the slavery that we had to, endure and pass on. And so all of that stuff.
That's why young black folk, they look at homeless white people and they just be like, man, you a waste of white skin. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't do nothing good with that white skin that you got. You know what I'm saying? Check out young people, young black people, and how they look at homeless white people. Not homeless everybody else, just homeless white people. Look at how they look at them. You know what I'm saying? Listen to some of the things that they say about them, and it is true. You know what I'm saying? You just wasted your whole life. How you be born, how you white, and you live in America and you don't make something of yourself. With all the chances, with all the opportunities, with all the incentives to pull you up, and then the audacity for them people from them other regions to come here and then downplay the struggle of black people. You know what I'm saying? Shame on them people like that. Shame on them. That's why they falling now. And they don't understand. We the only real reason why to keep them afloat. Look at the past. They came over here to exploit black labor. Listen, once more again, what our brother said. He said they came over here to exploit black labor. That's what they did in the past to get rich. Now it's the present. They're exploiting black dollars in the community. So how have they changed? Have they changed? When our great-great-grandparents, because I don't like saying ancestors, when your great-grandmother, when she was over here and she was a slave in chattel slavery, they came over here and they profited off of her. Now her great-great-great-grandchildren, her granddaughters, they're being exploited over the money that they make. So how is it any different?
Matters. And so when we talk about Bronzeville and places like, you know, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and all these other great places like Harlem, we then found our own thing. It's important. And now you look around how many black businesses that are owned by us, operated by us, right? And how many hospitals that are owned by black folks and operated by us? How many banks? How much infrastructure? Media is a big thing, right? Media. How many of us own media companies?
And we make it go, but we don't own any of it.
I don't sit with monkeys. You think because she's black, because I'm black, we're monkeys? Is that?
That's a proven fact.
It's a proven fact. It's a proven fact that I'm a monkey.
Could be.
Go ahead.
First thing I want to get off my mind is
I want to talk about this monkey stuff.
ADL. Okay.
No. I want to talk about the monkey business. I want to talk about. You just said I don't sit.
No, let me stop here because I always say this. Now, if you have to have a sense of empowerment by putting another group of people down, you're sorry yourself and you're weak and you have no power. Just think about that instant. That's like a bully on the schoolyard. He got to sit up there and bully all them people to make himself feel like he's something. If he's not bullying anybody, taking from people, calling people out their names, he himself will not be alive. And that's a person that doesn't have a soul. The reason why we don't mess with people like that, because God gave us a soul. We're soulful people. We come from the earth. You know what I'm saying? We are the salt of the earth. We are the people of the earth. So we don't have to feel any type of anything over anybody. We don't, to feel like we're alive. The only reason why a white supremacist or a white nationalist or a white separatist, for them to feel like they're alive, they have to oppress our people, or they don't feel, oh, you know, Jehoshaphat, that's part of the white supremacy mechanism that keep on turning, brother. It's like a machine, brother. It keep on turning. No. This is on a personal level with people. The reason half of them people join them factions like that is because they losers and they don't have family. That's number one. Couldn't get no girlfriend. That's number two. Couldn't fit in with all they white counterparts. That's number three. But for them people themselves to feel alive, like I'm alive, I don't have to impress. I don't have to suppress anybody. I feel alive. I have a soul. You know what I'm saying? I have a reason to live. What I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? Soulful. We're soulful people. We don't have to suppress nobody to live to the full aspect of our existence. We don't have to do that. We're going to live to the full existence in our own experiences as black people. We don't have to suppress anybody to feel alive. Is that sad on the white man? Is that sad on him? Yes, it's sad on him because it shows that he does not have a soul. It tells me, you know what I'm saying? You don't have a soul. If the only time you feel alive, if you're suppressing somebody.
Style is not punk rock, it's not Mohegan Indians, because a lot of people relate it to the Mohegan Indians because that's all they know. There's a tribe in Africa that calls themselves the Mandinka warriors. They wear their hair in this fashion. They wear feathered earrings. They wear diamond and gold. They wear the finest there is. And I'm proud to be a descendant of the people. And that's the reason why I wear this. And the changes in gold is symbolic of my struggle, because my ancestors who was brought over here was shackled by our wrists and our necks and ankles. But now I turn those shackles into gold, and that offends people. People ask me, say, do that gold get heavy? Nobody asks my ancestors, do those changes get heavy on their neck? But it bothers them because they know the gold is valuable. But that's the reason why I wear the gold and the earrings. The hairstyle is not punk.
Now, why I put Mr. T in the background, because some of the things that he said is valid. But your brother Israel, I don't think that it'll ever be a 21andMe or some type of genetic company that will be honest with African American people, so-called black people who live in America. If we actually got a genetic test done on us, it would have to be from an outside source. It would have to be somebody that has no ties with any money with America like that. Could we say Switzerland? No, I don't think so. Could we say Asia? Probably so. You know what I'm saying? If you go over to Asia and get a DNA test and mess with them, probably they'll tell you the truth. But every other source, I don't think so. I think they're going to suppress the knowledge. I think they're going to keep it hidden from black people. I think they're going to throw in their mechanisms of propaganda to twist that machine, got that machine going to have confusion fall upon your people. I truly believe that.
African gods will save us from this misery and shame. Where are the African gods? Did they leave us on our journey over here? Where are the African gods? Will we know them when they suddenly appear? The ones dismissed with voodoo, rock and roll, and all that jazz, and jungle mumbo jumbo, and razzmatazz. Where are the African gods who live within the skin? Within the skin, without the skin, and in the skin again. Do they hide among the shadows while we stumble on the way? Or did they go with heaven to prepare another day? Where are the African gods who save us from this misery and shame? Where are the African gods? Will we find them while we pray in Jesus' name? Where are the African gods who live and set us free? We are the African gods. We are.
And the settlers landed. They were eating them.
Take your time, sister. Take
They
your
were
time. It's
eating
all right. Take your time, sister.
the Native Americans. And we were there too. This book says there were dark natives. They were dark people, my color, darker than me, on the land, on America, when they arrived. And they were literally fucking frying us like fried chicken.
They don't want to teach that part in history. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to teach that part in history. They went up over there and they damn near pulled off the Leprechaun movie on us. They was making shirts and gloves and shoes and hats and coats of your people. Making pillows and beds. Can you imagine how cannibalistic your people got done here in America? Let's go back again. They, just like our sister sitting over here saying they were eating us. No, they wasn't just eating us. They were wearing us and sleeping on us and putting us up as decoration in their house. How, you know what I'm saying? So when black people sit up here and they say, oh, we don't want reparations, we don't want the truth, man, y'all Negroes better go sit down somewhere. This is way more bigger than y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all better go sit y'all ass down somewhere. The truth is coming forth like a wellspring of life, and you cannot stop it. You cannot change it. You cannot suppress it. You cannot hide it anymore. They was up over there making leather belts and leather coats and leather shoes and of our skin, you know what I'm saying? Of our skin. They was sitting up over there making actual beds of black people. Let me take off that Negro hair and make me a good old pillow. How can you make a figurine of our black corpse in your house? What kind of sickness is on these people like that? You know what I'm saying? What kind of demonic evilness do they have about themselves if you could take a human corpse and decorate it as a part of your house? Just think about that. You know what I'm saying? Think about that. How demonic are you to take a human person and make shoes out of them? How demonic are you to take a human person and see them as food, substance, libation for your body. Okay, I'm sorry, sis. You know, sometimes I get passionate too. Go ahead, sister. Go ahead.
They would put us in hot oil. They would cook us. They would cut our hands off. They got such a reputation for eating people that they began making cookbooks with recipes of fucking people as the meat. Like, I can't make this shit up.
And they want
This
to talk
book,
about
Black AF
Africa.
History.
They want to sit up here and talk about Africa so damn bad. No, you need to talk about your own damn self. What's wrong with embracing your own history and changing from it? You don't have to be them same people. Just because your granddaddy did something don't mean you have to do it. Shoot, I know the real God. God, he said, you got to ask me forgiveness for what your great-grandfather did, your grandfather did, and your father did. And I did all those things. I asked my God, the true God of the heavens and the earth. I asked him forgiveness for what my great-great-grandfather did to disrespect him. I asked him for forgiveness for what and I know what they did. I know how they was living their lives. You know what I'm saying? It's all passed down. So just because my great-grandfather was born in 1860 don't mean I don't know what he was doing. I know what he was doing. My grandfather that was born in 1910, I know how he disrespected my father. My dad who was born in the 50s, I know how he disrespected God too. So you don't have to pay for the crimes of your ancestors, your forefathers, if you are willing yourself to change your ways. You can change, you know what I'm saying? If you don't, if I did not ask for forgiveness and repent for the crimes of my father, my grandfather, and my great-grandfather, the sins of the iniquity will be replaced back unto the son, which is me. I don't want them sins befalling me like that. So I have to ask for forgiveness. So what's different with them? What's so different with them? You know what I'm saying? Why they can't ask for forgiveness for what they father did, what they grandfather did, and what they great-great-grandfather did? Why they can't ask for forgiveness? If not, the sins of the father will be paid unto the son. That's what's going to happen to him.
He talks about our ancestry, our native ancestry, as well as African ancestry. Yes, there were settlers that came to the United States, but there were already fucking people. We were already here. We were already in this country.
Man, how did corn get
And
here?
the
How
fact
did
that
rice
they
get
were
here?
eating
That stuff is
the
not
Native American
indigenous
people
to this
and
place
us.
like that.
And made us into servants and said that we will be easy servants, even though natives were giving him fucking gifts. They were like literally giving every.
They find it corn when the white man came over here. He was like, "Wow, who the hell planted all this damn corn?" When the Spaniards, when they was in Spain, not Spain, but when they was in Mexico, they was like, "Who the hell brought rice over here? This is not indigenous to this damn region. Who was over here?" You know what I'm saying? Where all this damn corn come from? Who the hell brought these damn watermelons? Your people, you know what I'm saying? Your people, we get around. People don't understand, you know what I'm saying? People don't understand at one point in all of Earth history, it was the whole planet was populated with black people. That's so hard for people to understand. They can sit up there and gravitate and be like, "Oh, well, we all came from the one sister in Africa. We all have genetics and we all come from Lucy. We all come from the first woman that was born in Africa." They can admit that. But why can't they admit that at one period of Earth history, every continent, you know what I'm saying? Every continent, every place to where it was habitable for human life, black people thrived. Why is it so hard to believe this? You know what I'm saying? Why is it so hard to believe that? That simple fact. Before any of these other races of people were even existed, there were only the black race. Sorry.
Everything they could, and he was still raping women,
No, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry.
throwing babies into the fucking waters filled with alligators.
Okay, like notice, remember, everything goes back to Egypt. Y'all some hard-headed Negroes, some hard-headed ass black people. Now, They fed the Pharaoh. He said, get all the Hebrews together. And their population, remember, I started this was why our population never succeeds 40 million people. Back in Egypt, the Pharaoh told all the baby boys that was born to be thrown into the Nile and eaten by the crocodiles. That same thing happened to your people here in America. Do you understand that? You cannot escape your past. If it was done in the past, it's going to present itself in the present. If you don't acknowledge it in the present, it will be in our future. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the smartest man in the world, and I know this. You know what I'm saying? And I know this, and all my brothers and sisters, we've been telling y'all. Well, maybe it takes people like me to enlighten you, for you to think about these things, that think, oh, okay, what Jehoshaphat said? Jehoshaphat said they was killing little babies in Africa, little black boys and letting them get ate by alligators. And they did the same thing to our people here in America. And we're not those people. We're the people that the Bible talks about. God's holy chosen people. We carry so many different names. We call ourselves Christians. We call ourselves Moors. We call ourselves Hebrews. We call ourselves so-called African Americans. We call ourselves FBA. We call ourselves, we have so many different names, but we're still the same people that God been talking about. You cannot escape your past. If you don't do something about what was done to you in your past, it's going to affect your present, where we at right now. If you don't fight for your children right now, the same thing, them same alligators that was eating your babies in the swamps is going to be in the future, eating your babies in the, y'all mark my words. If y'all don't change y'all damn ways and wake up. Okay, sister, my bad. Go, let's take you back just a little bit.
Like literally giving everything they could, and he was still raping women, throwing babies into the fucking waters filled with alligators. Like this shit really has nothing is new.
Nothing.
It's been this way since the beginning, and the fact that this evil shit is still happening is it's scary. They're still making alligator encampments.
But that's all right. Our people, it's been prophesied. We all gonna wake up. The black folk that ain't gonna make it, that want to kill, steal, and destroy, and do the will of their father, they're going to perish. They're gonna go extinct. There's nothing that we can do about that. All we can do is denounce their behavior so it don't affect our future children. You see how our people act. You know what I'm saying? You see how we act. There's nothing new under the sun. It's nothing new. You know what I'm saying? Just like your brother said, it's like a clock. It just keeps on going back around. Eventually, it's going to be 1 o'clock again. What was your people doing at 1 o'clock? Eventually, it's going to be 6 o'clock again. What was your people doing at 6 o'clock? What was happening to them? Okay, let's bring another speaker up.
Going on in America right now, it's been spoken about, it's been yelled about, it's been cried aloud about, but nobody was listening. And there was one thing that, if I don't remember anything else, there was one thing that my dad would always say: in order for them to see the big picture, we have to step out of the picture. I want you to catch this. In order for them to see the big picture, we have to step out of the big picture. Let me break it down like this. In the Bible, Joseph was thrown in the pit, right? Do y'all know why he was actually thrown in the pit? He already knew that his brothers were jealous. He already knew that his brothers hated him. He already knew all this other stuff. But yet, they never threw him in that pit, even though he knew that. The only reason they actually physically threw him in the pit is because he responded to their hatred. He responded to their jealousy. I want you to catch this. On in LA right now, and what's getting ready to happen all around the United States, we don't need to respond in a way that they want us to. Right now, what's going on in LA, they want them to respond that way in order to bring in martial law. In order to bring in the military, in order to bring in more force. Do you see what they are doing? They are using military-style response towards civilians. And it's totally sad. It's really all the stuff that's going on right now. We spoke about it years ago, and it's happening right now. And I'm going to say this again, especially to us. I'm going to say this again. In order for them to see the big picture, we have to step out of the big picture. Go home. Sit back, enjoy home life, enjoy doing the things that you want to do as a family. Because we've been talking about this for years and nobody listened. They listening now.
According to your book, In Africa. Floated on the Nile River. Last I checked, that was in Africa. You don't want to hear that. I know. But you can't change the fact. That's in your book.
Most explanation, like archaeologically, why it could have been you guys.
Right, because when you go back to the records of when Titus, the Roman general, marched on Jerusalem and destroyed it, the bulk of the Jews ran into North Africa. And they watched the migration of those. They migrated all the way into countries like Ghana and so forth on the west coast of Africa, where the slave trade began. So that's why that's how one of the.
Okay, let me introduce the school of thought real quick. Now, the 12 tribes of Israel are all brothers. Issachar, Reuben, Simeon. Do you understand that? All of the 12 tribes of Israel are family. They're family, right? They're family members. So when we talk about tribes and tribal, we're talking about a big extended family. Now, look here in America and see your people in all the different tribes that we have. If you count all of them together, it's probably still 11 to 12 major tribes. What do you mean, Jehoshaphat? Our Muslim brothers that believe in that stuff, they make up a tribe. You know what I'm saying? Our Christian brothers, that's a tribe. You know what I'm saying? Our Hebrew brothers, that's a tribe. You know what I'm saying? And any other political faction or anything that we would make up itself. So history still repeats itself. There were 12 tribes of Israel. If you look here in America at black folk, I'm pretty sure it's 12 tribes of us still to this day in this country. Okay, big brother, I'm sorry. Let's go back.
Marched on Jerusalem and destroyed it. The bulk of the Jews ran into North Africa. And they watched the migration of those. They migrated all the way into countries like Ghana and so forth.
That's why it was so easy to sell your people. You know what I'm saying? That's why it was so easy for those African nations to sit up there and gather up so-called African American people, is because we weren't their people. You know what I'm saying? We weren't. So who are you gonna sell? You gonna sell an African, or are you gonna sell an immigrant that came into your country? We were the damn immigrants. Yeah, we were immigrants at one time. Anytime we had to flee to Africa, you know what I'm saying? We were immigrants at one point. Anytime we had to flee into Africa to escape the wars that we were in our own home country. So to make it even better, who do you sell? Do you sell your neighbor that lives across the street from you? Or do you sell the people who just moved into the area and they got camps? I think we'll go round up all the people who came up over here as immigrants and foreigners and round them up and sell them to, hey, it's the white man.
On the west coast of Africa, where the slave trade began. So that's how one of the ways you know. Another way you know is in the Bible, it tells you that the Jews during the Assyrian Empire, the Jews meaning all 12 tribes, got together in ships and traveled to this side of the world. And when they traveled to this side of the world, they took both their culture and everything with them. And, here's a little secret that a lot of people don't know. There are many, many black Indians in America that the government...
And this is why you find so many of our relics and our traditions merged and infused into the black American people that were here. You know what I'm saying? We did some dealing with them people before in the past. Left some of our people here besides from the in the past too. But you had an influence of our people in this country before, you know what I'm saying? Before, hey, Mr. White Man came over here like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what we saying to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Our people got around. Our people, you are from a lineage. When we say astronomers and we say mathematicians and we say soldiers and warriors and kings and queens, we're not lying to you. This what makes up your bloodline. Okay, big brother, go ahead, brother. My bad. Educate our people, please.
Reclassified as black slaves, and they
let's go back.
People don't know. There are many, and when they traveled to this side of the world, they took both their culture and everything with them. Here's a little secret that a lot of people don't know. There are many, many black Indians in America that the government reclassified as black slaves. And they did that reclassification so they can take the land. See, those Indians lived on those lands, all in North and South Carolina.
Your great-great-grandfather, your great-great-grandmother, your great-great-great-uncle, your great-great-great-auntie. That's who we talking about.
Why did you take my people's records after destroying the temple?
My forefather tried to paint the likeness of us and failed. Now we can finally complete what my forefathers tried by putting our images in the book of the law.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
The suffering of persecution is a significant part of the Israelites' warning for disobedience. By acknowledging and understanding this history, we begin to understand why Yah would allow the suffering of those spread throughout the diaspora.
Deuteronomy 28:45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenedst not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee.
If you finding this video,
He reveals who the royal families are and are not.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to be here near the steps of the capital of the state of Ohio. I am delighted to speak here today. For 12,000 years, our tribe has resided from the Gulf of Mexico north along the Mississippi River into the Ohio Valley, which includes but is not limited to Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York. Proof of our existence here is found in the thousands of mounds located in this region. My name is Tecumseh Brown Eagle, duly elected chief of 139-member Erie Indian Mound Builders Tribal Nation. This land is a part of us, and we are a part of this land. We love, honor, respect, and are grateful for this great land, as many of you all. The state of Ohio contains the highest and largest concentration of mounds than any other region in the United States. Some of you may be looking at me and thinking, you are not an Indian, you are black, which happens to be an African. It was over 10 years ago that I found out the total truth and learned that 3 of my 4 grandparents are registered on the Dawes rolls of the United States government as Native American Indians. My maternal grandmother, who was not listed due to her date of birth being in September of 1904,